Downtown Detroit, all lit up and ready for its close-up. The Lions beginning their playoff run as the #1 seed in the NFC, going up against the #1 rookie in the NFL, Jaden Daniels, and his Washington Commanders. Divisional round playoff action, and we've got it all for you right here on Fox 2.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Good evening, everybody. Dan Mayo, usual suspects. TJ, Wojo, Birchie. Hello. Great to have you guys here. We're taking right up to Fox coverage. You'll be here in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And Hammer. We'll be here in a minute. I'm off my pins now.
Way to go.
All right.
Big game tonight.
I asked you this morning what this game was. You gave me a mediocre answer.
I know.
So I gave you a little bit more time to think about it. And I say to you, Woj, in front of 65,000 of your best friends,
don't mess up.
What is this game tonight?
Well, first of all, I didn't think it was mediocre.
Oh, it was really good.
Turn up.
I was just...
Simply this, all right? Look around Ford's Field here.
It's Ford Field.
That's what I said. You know what tonight is? Tonight is noise versus poise.
Whoa.
Jaden Daniels is... I was just talking to Martin Mayhew, the former Lions GM, who works for the Commanders. And he said, I have never seen a young kid, their quarterback, Jaden Daniels, who is so poised late in games, 6 games they've won on the final play. Nothing rattles them. That's a challenge for all these people up there. Noise versus poise.
What changes from the regular season to the playoffs as a guy who's played in plenty of them?
Well, you have to limit mistakes. I think this Lions team was good enough throughout the regular season to play a C+, B- type game and still win. In the playoffs, you need an A performance every single week. You know, if you let one play slip or one drive slip, you let some points off the board, that could be the difference in these playoff games. Everybody's good. Everybody's here for a reason. You're in the final 8 now, final 4 in the NFC. Yeah. You make one couple mistakes, you start off slow in the first half or start off slow in the second half like you did against Buffalo. Other team can put up some points. So I think the urgency is a lot higher once you get to the playoffs.
Hey, if he gets to rhyme, I get to rhyme. I'll just say, boys, take a gander at this scene. All these bystanders here to scream. If the Lions come out and beat the Commanders, they'll be one step closer to living their dream.
There you go. And that is, but this is, Birchie, where they wanted to be all year.
Yeah.
#1 seed, knowing you're playing 2, not 3, and knowing you don't have to go back on the road like they did last year.
Look, we said all year long, if they make the playoffs, run through Ford Field and Detroit, they won't lose. I have stood by that. They have stood by that. They've earned the opportunity to back that up and to prove that tonight and hopefully next week.
All right, so Lions and Commanders coming up. You'll see it right here on Fox 2. We got you covered for the next hour. As we count you down to kickoff, let's check in with Hammer, who is here as well. Good evening, Hammer. Happy playoff football to you.
Happy playoff football. Tonight is the night they begin the quest to get back to that point and beyond. And for Dan Campbell, he knows that this team is gritty, focused, and ready. And now, this year, instead of being the hunters, they are the hunted.
We know we're going to get everybody's best shot. We know that every week, and it doesn't matter if it's who we've played, what week it is, and our guys understand that. And I think the most important thing is it doesn't matter where you're at, where you're seated, how many wins you have. You got to stay hungry. And our team's hungry.
We came into this year ready for games like this, ready for games like last week, ready for these big-time games, and wanted to have everything run through Detroit. And now we've got our opportunity to do that, and it's right here in front of us, and we got to go take advantage of it.
I think when you play this game, every opportunity that you get, the stakes are always high. You just got a little bit of icing on the top now, just because we playing for the big fish now. So we got some relentless guys in this locker room who take this personal, and they take their job very serious. So everybody's locked in. You can see it, you can feel it, you can smell it. So it's like, I'm just happy to be a part of it, really.
It smells like playoff football, and David Montgomery is one of the guys that is certainly hungry. He is back in the lineup tonight, playing for the first time since he was injured in that Bills game. And for the Detroit Lions, it is going to be a bonus against this Washington team to have Sonic and Knuckles back together. Dan?
Yeah, these guys, no doubt, they are hungry and they are ready to go. Yes.
He's hitting me. He's already started.
It's this little table. Anytime we have this little table, everybody argues
This
over what
table
they
reminds
do.
me of your old island in your kitchen.
If TJ wasn't working, both in TV and radio tonight, he'd be in a bar watching this game.
No doubt.
Let me tell you something. It is electric. If you don't have a ticket, that's the place to be. That's where we find our Camille Mary, who is monitoring what's going on out there. Good evening, Camille.
Yeah, good evening to you, Dan. We're at Thomas McGee's at Eastern Market, and like you said, if you're not inside the stadium, it's okay, because we're going to have a lot of fun in here. We're conducting some super fans right now. Oh my gosh, talk about this game. You are so excited. You're smiling ear to ear.
It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be over around halftime. I think their defense is too porous. We're going to blow right through them. I think with the addition of Montgomery coming back on the field, and actually some friends of ours, Sitaways or Packers fans, they're behind us emotionally. So we got a lot of people, even not just Lions fans, getting after it.
Okay,
so.
we got a lot of people. Everyone we've talked to just sounds like professional sports and I can't even say the word analyst. Sports analyst, hello.
Analyst.
I know, but you guys all sound so, you know what you're talking about. Obviously a lifelong fan.
Lifelong.
What does it take to get to this point this year?
A lot of hard work, a lot of money on our end, you know.
Of course. Your season ticket holders, right?
For a long time,
a lot of money.
Looking for discounts. No, I'm just kidding. No, but the staff done a great job. They're going to kill it today, I think.
Yeah.
35-17.
And you remember 0-16.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. Oh, yeah. That was.
We got to remember how far we've come, right?
You're right. Yeah, you're right. We've seen it all. So I'm super excited for this team right now.
Yeah. And we've got this guy over here. I know, we're all excited. I know you guys are going to the game.
Oh, yeah.
Before we go, say everyone's cheering. Go Lions. And we've got this guy. Obviously, you've got your game face on.
Oh, yeah.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm loving it. I love it. It's been a long time coming. Dan Campbell's driving that bus, and we're going right down the street.
And final score, what do you think it's going to be?
42-17 Detroit Lions.
Okay, so the Lions are winning no matter what. Of course, we'll be out here all night long, but for now, we're live at Thomas McGee's at Eastern Market. Camille Mary, Fox 2 News. Sending it back to you.
And Camille, thank you very much. Now, listen. We know the Lions were in this position last year. They won at home for the first 2 rounds, then went on the road and lost. So they've been here, they've done it, they've been through it, so that experience should serve them well. J-Mo was asked about that, coming back for the 2nd year in a row.
I think people tend to forget like where we came from. You know, last year I don't remember what seed we was, but you know, we was lucky enough to have a home game too. So this year it's just like people like just forget like that we came from so far underneath, and they just like think everything's been easy and stuff like that. But you know, everybody got the same mindset. You know, we don't look at it like we the #1 seed. Oh, we the best team. You know, we still practice and go out and practice and play like we nothing. You know, we still trying to go out there and get a win, and we still trying to go out there and play hard for our brothers that's next to us. So you know, I feel like people tend to just use this season to forget like we still got that grit in us, and you know it's playoffs, so you got to go out there and get a win, or you're gonna be on the couch.
So that's the mindset they've got, is that they don't care if they're the #1 seed, they're going to earn it.
Yeah, and the mindset also is that we didn't come this far just to come this far. J-Mo went on to say, we've got 3 games left. He's done the math. Tonight, next weekend in New Orleans. And he said, look, I'm focusing on those 3 games. I want to get something on my fingers for the city of Detroit. That would be a ring, Wojo. And to get a ring, they'll need J-Mo's hands.
Married?
They'll need J-Mo's hands. He broke through in a big way this year. It feels like tonight there's going to have to be an explosive play from someone like J-Mo or Gibbs or St. Brown. I think J-Mo is going to break a big one tonight.
And you know what they're all picking up on, as J-Mo said, we think we're nothing. It's the Amik Robertson mentality. I came from dirt. You can't bury somebody who came from dirt. And I think it permeates throughout. They're not saying the exact same thing, but they're saying it in different ways. Yeah. We're nothing. We haven't done it. And it is. People really have latched onto it. It is a metaphor for both Amik Jake Robertson and the Lions?
Well, they have that underdog mentality, and I think anytime you're a #1 seed, everybody else on the outside tries to find ways to knock you down a little bit, right? So they've heard a lot about Jaden Daniels and the playmaker that he is,
and the injuries.
They kind of have that underdog mentality that they believe. They don't know that they're 9-point favorites. They believe they got to go out here and play their best football to win.
Well, that's what they believe they have to do tonight against the Washington Commanders, and we're getting you ready for it. Lions and Commanders coming up here on Fox 2. More of Lions Game Day Live coming up right after this.
Why did I do this?
I'm Panay Sewell, and you're watching Lions Game Day Live on Fox 2 Detroit.
And the gentleman standing with me right now needs little introduction. Number 20, Barry Sanders, Hall of Famer. How you doing, B? Is it fun to be here again for another playoff game in this building?
It really is, and it's really been a great winter with the Lions being, having the first round bye, having such a great season. And then, obviously, with today having a great game against the Commanders and looking for a big victory.
So these Washington Commanders are a pesky team. Do they remind you a little bit of what these Lions were last year? Maybe not as much expected, playing with house money, and how dangerous can a team like that be?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can definitely see, how they've made strides, and to be in this position with a young quarterback, and a new coach and all those things. And so, but, hey, look, they're dangerous. They're here. They've won a lot of games. We've seen sort of the miraculous way that they've won a few games. So, the guys definitely got to be ready today.
So tonight's game, a lot of people expect that it's going to be a running attack that the Lions will use to beat a Commanders team that isn't particularly great against the run. When you watch these two guys, especially now with Demo back and the way that Ja has been so proficient in his absence, how much fun is that for you as a guy who played that position to see them really igniting what a running back means to the Detroit offense again?
Oh, absolutely. And, our guys are keen and ready. These are the kind of moments that you wait for with Montgomery, coming back. And I guess it's been, 2 or 3 weeks. We haven't had him. I know he's eager to go. And just with the electricity and excitement of Jameer, that whenever they're called upon, they'll be ready. And I believe, like you just said, that we love to be able to depend on and lean on the running game today.
So this building has been loud. I know you've been here throughout the season. Can you anticipate just how much louder it will get tonight and hopefully next week with the playoffs on the line?
Oh, hey, look, Lions fans are bursting at the seams, and we can't wait for this one to start. And we know that it's just an exciting atmosphere. Yep. But the fact that this game will decide who goes on to play next week in the championship game. And so I'm pretty sure that Lions fans are ready to take it up a few more decibels.
Yeah, and I know you're even a fan of the team right now, too. It's kind of hard not to be. Do you watch those Dan Campbell locker room speeches and think, my God, that guy, he's just got it going?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a great just motivator, and it just locked in to the guys and always says what needs to be said to motivate the guys, but also he's earned their trust. It's not just about the speeches. It's about the fact that he's earned these guys respect and trust, and they play hard for him.
Always love seeing you here at the games. It just fills my heart, and I know the fans here in Detroit still love you. They were chanting for you a minute ago as we were walking down. Have fun tonight.
Hey, I wouldn't miss it. I would not miss it. Great to be here.
All right. We're going to send it back over to you, Dan, and thank Barry Sanders once again for joining us.
All right, Hammer, thank you very much. Pretty cool shot there. You had Hammer talking to the GOAT, and Aiden Hutchinson was right behind him. I think folks at home probably saw that.
It would Barry be Sonic or Knuckles? I actually think he's a combination. He is. He's the best combination.
Yeah, Barry. What would think of what that would be? Sonic and Knuckles.
I don't want to push it together.
Snuggles. Snuggles. Something like that.
Hey, you can smell it in here. There's a big game tonight. You can feel it. The air is thick. It's amazing. Ford Field has kind of become become the place to be in the NFL. I mean, over the past couple of years, the number of high-stakes games, primetime games here, this has become one of the epicenters of the National Football League. It's going to shine again tonight.
It's been one of the best home field advantages in the entire
I would
league.
say it's been the singular best home field advantage.
It's good stuff, and we'll see how Washington handles that tonight. Part of that is how their quarterback handles it. Jaden Daniels has been terrific. Jared Goff has taken note of that. This scene and that rookie.
Every team we're going to play is going to be a tough matchup, and Washington's obviously no different. They're a hell of a team. They had a great year. They won 12 games. Just won a tough game on the road against a good Tampa team who beat us, so we got our hands full.
I've got to imagine you remember being a rookie. Can you take just a little mind shot of what he's doing as a rookie, the way that Jaden's performed?
Extremely impressive. Very, very impressive for anyone that young to do what he's doing, and doesn't look like he is a rookie. It doesn't look like he feels like a rookie. It feels like he understands the moment and is comfortable in it, and so our job on defense is try to make him comfortable, and it's been a challenge for a lot of teams this year, but I'm excited to see what they do.
Speaking of the quarterbacks, that brings us to our quarterback comparison. Woj, Goff, Daniels, go!
Go again.
One is a cagey veteran, the other is a cagey rookie, and people don't realize that Goff, you would think, would certainly have the composure and calmness and the poise advantage, but everybody you talk to about Jaden Daniels is he is otherworldly in that regard. He will make a few mistakes, 9 interceptions, 47 sacks, so you can get at him, but beyond elusive, he's elusive of foot and elusive of mind, and he doesn't, most of his runs are on scrambles, but he does run the RPO as well with Eckler throwing out of the backfield. He is dangerous in so many ways. Goff just has to be Goff and let the other players be dangerous around him.
And you feel so good with Jared as your quarterback. I remember that Rams game thinking, look, we were all feeling it because we hadn't seen playoff football in Detroit in a long time. I was wondering, how's Jared going to handle it? All he did was come out and complete his first 10, 11 passes.
Yeah, he just goes out there and plays football. And I think when Jared Goff plays in rhythm, when he plays his style, getting rid of the ball, knowing when to take his shots, right? Trying to time up the opportunities that this offense tries to give to him, Ben Johnson tries to give to him, that's when he plays his best. And I think he's learned this season, the faster I can get the ball in my playmakers' hands, the better off we're going to be. Sometimes when he drops back and it takes 4, 5, 6 seconds, you don't see a lot of success from this offense. I think Jared Goff has come a long way of just dumping the ball off and trusting guys underneath to go make plays.
So here in Detroit, we've been talking about Jaden Daniels. In D.C., they've been talking about Jaden Daniels and this crowd and how he would handle that, and he was asked about it.
I heard Detroit is very electric, so I'm excited for their fans to come out and bring some juice, because I know it's a very passionate fan base, and obviously rightfully so with the team that they're having. So I know it's going to be loud in there. So, you know, we got to go out there and be prepared, ready for the crowd noise. Yeah, good defense. They get their hands on the ball, obviously, with Kirby and I call him BB, but Brian Branch. Obviously up front, what they could do, create pressure, play some man coverage because they trust their guys on the outside. You know, it's going to be a challenge for us.
Berchie, this kid is special, and this turnaround that he has been the centerpiece of in Washington has been unreal.
And Woj is right for once. He is unflappable, and he does play with poise and the noise, but he hasn't heard noise like this. The decibel record for Bryant-Denny Stadium, home of the Alabama Crimson Tide, was set last year when Jaden Daniels was picked off by none other than Terrion Arnold. It wasn't as loud. It wasn't as loud that night as it was during pregame intros in week 1 here against the Rams. This is a different den with a different din, and I think they can get to him. The crowd can early on, and Dan Campbell said this week, all it takes is once or twice. If this crowd flusters him into one delay of game, one false start, one bad decision, that's all it takes to swing this game and potentially win this game.
It's almost din time. You know what I mean?
We're trying to figure out if either of these teams will punt tonight. That's number one. We'll take a break, come right back. We are having some fun, getting ready for playoff football in downtown Detroit. Danny Rogers, host of Inside the Pride, Detroit Lions team reporter, joins us now. What do you make of this electricity, this scene?
There are two fantastic days out of the entire year in Detroit, and it's divisional round or wild card round, and next week it's going to be NFC Championship Day.
That's what it's going to be next week?
Those are the two best days out of the entire year in Detroit.
We know it's going to be here next week?
I'm banking on it. Please, Lord. Please.
Well, you know what? To get there, there's a lot of focus on this Lions defense going up against this Washington offense and Jaden Daniels, and I know that's something you had a chance to talk about.
And throughout this season, we've kind of changed who the heart of the defense is. First, it was Aiden Hutchinson, then he went down. Then Alex Anzalone, then he went down. Granted, he's back. I have a new nominee for the heart of the Detroit Lions defense.
Bring it.
It's Aaron Glenn. No one has taken more heat for the defensive struggles over the last few years here in Detroit. Aaron Glenn has been a mainstay. He has 8 assistants under him. Only 2 are left from the inaugural Dan Campbell 2021 season. And that means a lot. That group, that 2021 group, Dan Campbell says helped this franchise raise from the ashes. One of those players is safety Ife Melifonwu. And he told me this week that Aaron Glenn is someone who changed the path of his NFL career.
He influenced like the change from me going to corner to safety. You know, he sat me in his office in 2022, and he just said he thought it would be a good change for me. Even though at first I was skeptical, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't play safety in college. I didn't get drafted as a safety, so I was kind of skeptical. But he believed in me. He said I could make a really good safety. So I guess that's one big change.
Looking back, does that alter your entire NFL career, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Have you been able to think or process a defense in Detroit without AG leading it?
No, to be honest, I don't know what that would look like, and I've tried not to think about it because I just want to be in the moment and enjoy, you know, this season and, you know, this playoff run, but I can't even think about it, to be honest.
So it hasn't crept up, that thought hasn't crept up?
No, it's crept up, but I try not to think about it. You know, like whenever those thoughts creep in, I try to just focus on what we're doing now.
Everyone says his best maybe interview for a job is the Minnesota film. From what you guys did against the Vikings in Week 18, what changed in that week?
We've seen a lot with the media and what they were saying about us, and you know, coming off that 49ers game and everything, and I just feel like we just had a chip on our shoulder and just feel like over the last couple of weeks people forgot what the defense was doing the whole year, and it was just a big game. So I feel like all that just factored in, and we were just so locked in on the game plan because, you know, you try not to focus on the noise, but it gets to you. So I feel like we all just collectively just like, I don't know, just wanted to shut people up.
And he is such a chess piece for Aaron Glenn. He could be huge in tonight's game.
He certainly will be, and he wants people to shut up about the defense, not talk. Well, they're only going to talk about you when you hold one of the top offenses in Week 18 with Justin Jefferson to no touchdown. So we want the people talking because that means his defense is playing really well, and he's going to be a big part of it.
Need him to be a big part of it again tonight. Lions going up against these Commanders and Jaden Daniels, big challenge. Don't forget you can catch Danny every Wednesday night Inside the Pride here on Fox 2. It airs at 7:30 as she gets you the very latest from the Meyer Performance Center out in Allen Park. We will take a break, come right back. Much more coming up. It is game night in downtown Detroit.
I'm Amik Robertson. You're watching Lions Gameday live on Fox 2 Detroit.
Oh, Amik Robertson, and that leads into a great transition to this man, Hall of Fame receiver Calvin Johnson. We saw the job Amik did on Justin Jefferson in that game against the Vikings. He's probably going to spend a little time tonight on who they call Scary Terry. Talk to me about McLaurin as a receiver and just what he brings to the table and how tough he may be to slow down.
I mean, McLaurin he's an old vet. You know, he's shifty. He runs great routes, and he can make plays on the ball. And he has the ability to run after the catch. Yeah. So I mean, but Amik Robertson showed he's up to the task. You know, I've been looking forward to seeing the matchup last week between him and Jefferson, and he did an exceptional job. So I look forward to seeing him perform this week and riding this tidal wave of energy here in Detroit.
The ride, and you talk about the energy. I mean, you walk down here. We brought Barry down here. Fans are screaming. Fans are cheering. There's somebody in an 81, and I'm sure he's not the only one. What does it mean just to be part of it and to see the way the city has just locked in on Lions football?
It's amazing. You know, my wife and I, we spent the last 3 to 4 games downtown. We get down here early, especially for these night games, you know, just to be around people in Detroit, because we've seen where the depths from which have come, you know, in the last, we've been here 18 years now. You know, so to see where it was and where it is now, see where this team is now, it's a great place. It's bringing, like I said, the energy to Detroit.
You've seen this team all season long, and you've seen the offense really continue to just crank out the points and put together drives. The running game, a huge part of that. How important is it for Detroit to be able to run the ball tonight against Washington? And do you perceive this to be as lopsided as a matchup as the numbers suggest? They're 9.5-point favorites.
I mean, I really could see it that way. I see it being that way if we're able to run the ball tonight. You know, obviously continue to make plays in the air, through the air. But one thing we can't do is let their quarterback and their running back have a good game running the ball tonight.
All right, so we see Charlie Batch over here on the other side. We're going to talk to him in a minute. I don't want to steal Dan Miller's thunder, but come on in here. We always like when we have teammates together. What's it mean to get back here in Detroit around all of your former teammates and just see the energy of the city? And I see you're not wearing black and gold.
Exactly. You got to come back up here and represent, right? It's been a long time, but to see the energy that's happening in this city, to see the Lions doing what they're doing, it's a beautiful thing. And I'm telling everybody, man, as you get to this point and you only show in town and people are watching this, man, this is special. It really is.
I'm going to let you go back over there because Dan's going to interview you in a minute. But I just wanted to make sure they got to have some Lions love here on the air. This is what we do on our pregame show. Final word, the fit is amazing. This jacket, the shades, I love all of the
energy
blue.
In here,
What
it's
are they?
electric in here. It's always a tough place to play, but when you get to this point, playoffs, and you're weeks away from your ultimate goal, what you're trying to accomplish for the season, this is special, and they need to take it all in.
How much is home field advantage big for the Lions as they now have to just play 2 games, not 3, but they got to handle their business?
You have to, and this is one of those ones you can't take your opponent lightly, but to go through this, and I've been through it 3 times, obviously being in Pittsburgh, not here, something that I wanted to do when I was here, but when you get to this particular point, you know it's a tough place to play. People are familiar with what Thanksgiving games are like, but when you get to playoffs and the energy that these fans bring, they are the reasons why there are false starts that are occurring, because they are affecting and impacting the game in that way.
You played the position. What do you make of Jaden Daniels and how quickly he has adapted to this league?
He really is, and the stage is not big for him. And when you get to the point of being able to accomplish a lot of those things that he did in college, right? You win the Heisman, you're playing in the SEC, but then you're an older quarterback coming in, right? So the game slows down a lot, and you can see why they named him that week 1 starter, because they believe that much in what he's bringing to the table. And to get him to this point, this is why they did what they did.
And obviously on the other side, Jared Goff has been terrific for this franchise. You know, terrific playoffs last year. They let it get away in San Francisco. But I think this is a night where you feel good about having that veteran back there too.
You do, and you're right. The culture is built from Coach Dan Campbell, right? But your players have to now continue to bring that message home. And when you have a leader like Jared Goff right now that brings that and saying, God, this is it. We all are trying to accomplish that goal. I know what it feels like because I came short, but now I'm trying to sell it to the rest of the team. And when you have somebody like that who's capable of leading, everybody believes in what he's capable of doing. When you're a couple weeks away from it, man, you better believe all those guys are riding with him.
Let me pick up on what you just said. When you're 30 minutes away like this team was last year, how much does that burn in you to get back there this year?
Right, it tests your character, right? Because everybody expected them to fall off, but to get to the point of now having the #1 seed, saying, hey, we understand we fell short of our goal last year, but now it's right there in front of us. And the beauty of it is the fact that they didn't have to wait and sit around like the week 17 against Christmas, and you're like, hey, you don't have to play. No, that last week against Minnesota, that's going to help this team moving forward, because it forced them to play, keep the momentum going, and I don't expect this team to get off to a slow start. They're going to pick up right where they left off.
Charlie, it's always good to see you. Let me ask you, I know it's great to see you back in Detroit. You got a lot going on in Pittsburgh. Just fill us in.
It's beautiful. Really, we just celebrated our 25th year of Best of the Batch Foundation. We're an educational foundation, and we service 3,800 kids annually in 9 counties throughout southwestern PA. So we just expanded. We went from 5,300 square feet to 33,000. So we just celebrated that this year. So you got to come down and check it out. But if anybody wants to know and learn a little bit more about what we're doing, they can go to batchfoundation.org. And we love to collaborate because we don't do all things well. We love to partner with people.
This dude's one of the best. It's good to see you, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Charlie Bass joining us right here. Hey, the Stars are out tonight. It's a big night. Lions getting set to go against the Commanders. Much more coming up. By the way, right now in the game over on ABC ESPN, we will tell you it is the Chiefs leading the Texans 23-12, 4:38 to go in the 4th. More coming up after this. Appreciate you. Thanks. Sign up for the Fox 2 Detroit Lions newsletter. It's everything Lions, delivered right to your inbox. Just click the link at fox2detroit.com. Hey, it is win or go home in the NFL right now. Divisional round. Chiefs up 11 on the Texans. 3:48 to go in that game over on ABC ESPN. Right here, we're getting ready to go with the Lions and the Commanders. Good news for the Lions, getting David Montgomery back, giving Ben Johnson another tool to work with. Hammer sat down and chatted with him about what it meant to return to action with his teammates.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, I missed it for 3 weeks now, and yeah, I'm just excited to be back.
When you think about this team and the goals that you all have, how long have you manifested a moment like this?
My whole life, really. When I knew I was good at ball, like I knew that I wanted to get an opportunity to make it to the NFL, but ultimately, win the big fish.
The big fish being the, as Dan Campbell calls it, the whole enchilada.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The Super Bowl.
Whole thing.
What does Detroit mean to you?
I think Detroit is who I am. Blue collar place. Land of the misfit toys. You know, a place that didn't get enough credit for how amazing it is. Kind of like the item that no one really wants until you get and you realize how reliable it is. So I think Detroit is just, if I can put it into one word, I'd just say it's me.
I've got to imagine the gratitude you talk about comes from the times I read that you didn't have power, didn't have water. Not a lot of people experience that and can still lift themselves up and beyond.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, where I'm from, a lot of people experience that, so it was a normality from where I'm from, so yeah, I guess you can say like it helped. It definitely did help carve who I am, so.
I love the whole misfit toys notion. What would it mean for this band? And obviously the closeness of this group is part of what builds the trust, allows you guys to succeed. What would it mean for you guys to get another win this week, take the next step and keep that going?
I mean, everything, you know, you see how close we were last year. And you seen what it kind of did to the city. You know, it just brought so much life to this place that always had life. You know, it's like the rose that grew through the cracks kind of deal. And last year it started, like the seed was planted, and now the rose is growing through now. So, you know, every win that we get now it means the world. So we got guys here who are resilient and ready to take on the challenge so we can bring what the city deserves.
What is the most important thing you want your son to learn from you, to see?
That's a good question. If it was one thing that I would want him to take from me, I want him to take that it's okay to stand for something that you believe in, if it means you got to stand alone.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Is there something like that for you?
Yeah, for sure.
Care to expound?
I think just, you know, I've never been, you know, the guy, or I've never been like the crazy, like athletically talented, gifted guy. I've always just been a worker, you know. I've always been the guy who ain't never been good enough, so I always believed if I just was confident enough in myself and the work that I put in, I can get here. There's a lot of people who didn't believe that. There's a lot of people that I wasn't doing what I should do.
Yeah.
But I believe that I could, and a lot of times I was by myself, but paid off.
Anything else you want people to know about David Montgomery and how you feel today, right now, in Detroit, getting ready for this game?
I just want to thank Detroit, like the people of Detroit, just to love me the way that they do, like unconditionally. You know, I haven't experienced this from like a place before, so being able to come to a place where me being who I am unapologetically is enough, and the people like appreciate that. So I'm really just grateful for Detroit. I'm grateful for the people that are in Detroit who see me as they see me. So I'm just thankful.
Demo getting ready to go. Lions, Commanders, and he is back. Hasn't played in about a month, and that'll be a big get for this offense as Ben Johnson gets his two Sonic and Knuckles back together to utilize as they get ready to take on this Washington team. You'll hear from Aaron Glenn when we come back as he gets ready to tackle Jaden Daniels and this Washington team. It is quite a night in downtown Detroit. All right, another playoff action tonight over on ABC ESPN. It is Kansas City up 23-12 over Houston. Less than 2 minutes to go in that one. When this one gets going, a lot of people are going to be looking at that Lions defense led by Aaron Glenn to see how they play against this explosive Washington offense. Had a chance to sit down with the Lions defensive coordinator. Topic one, just having Alex Anzalone back.
He's one of the captains of our team. He's always been the leader of our defense. He understands exactly when I'm going to make a call and how I'm going to call the game, which is outstanding and then very important. That's something that Jack is definitely getting close to being able to do. But when you have a linebacker like that, if the headset goes out, man, I know exactly what AG is going to call, and he's going to make that call. So it's always important to understand as a coordinator when you have a guy like that you just let him be free and let him make calls.
You have watched Kirby grow from the day he walked in here to see him become a first-team All-Pro player. What's that mean to you?
Well, I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. If you watched him in college, all he did was get his hands on the ball. So nothing changed once he got here. I'm telling you the one thing that did change, his knowledge of the game and understanding how to disguise. And he's a very physical player. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. But he's an all-around safety. He's not just a ball hawk. He's a guy that can play in the box. He can cover. So he has everything. The thing that's scary is he still hasn't hit his peak yet. So there's a ways for him to go, and I'm looking forward to seeing that player grow.
Jaden Daniels, that's a lot of the talk this week going into this game. Rookie quarterback who can move. What jumps out on tape, and what's the challenge?
Listen, he's taken this league by storm, and rightfully so. The speed he possesses, the accuracy, very calm demeanor about himself. Nothing's too big, nothing's too small for him in the game. And to me, that what really stands out. So if you just go back through the games he's played, he's made a lot of plays in key situations. You don't have a lot of young quarterbacks that can do that. So he has that trait already. So that just tells you he's going to be a scary player as this season progresses. So we have to do everything we can to contain him. But I just tell you what, man, it's enjoyable watching that player play.
You just mentioned Jefferson. You mentioned Addison. Here comes McLaurin. It feels like there's one of these every week that you got to deal with. But this is a big play guy, a contested catch guy.
Listen, every week you're going to go against a good receiver. That's just how this league is. It's an offensive-driven league. They're getting these guys in the first round all the way to the sixth round now that are good players. So we know what he brings to the table. Highly competitive. Played against him before. So the thing we have to understand is, man, when he goes for the ball, we have to outwill that player because he's going to go up and try to catch it.
You are the #1 third down defense in this league. Now, look, they may go to fourth down some of the times, but the key is to get off the field. What's the key to being successful on third down that you've done all year?
Listen, man coverage is huge in that when you have guys that can play man coverage, because you want to be sticky, especially in those short 2 to 5, 2 to 6 ranges, because the ball comes out fast. So if you're not sticky in coverage, it's pretty easy for the offense. So our guys have done a really good job of being sticky and then understanding on the bunch concepts how to pass things off and still be sticky in coverage. So our guys did a hell of a job on third down this year.
Final thing, Ford Field. Yeah. It rocks most when your guys are out there. Yeah. What does it mean to have that weapon in your back pocket?
Listen, this is what we played. Like since training camp, like this is what we wanted to make sure we have home field advantage because we know the advantage that our fans give us in that situation. For them having our back, seeing them when they come into the stadium, man, is outstanding. So, listen, we're going to give them everything that they need to cheer for us. We're going to go out there and we're going to put on the show.
Aaron Glenn right there. Here's our odds makers. Now they've done so far this year. TJ rocking 13-4. Bertie Mojo 12-5. Hammer 9-8. That brings us to tonight. Lions taking on the Commanders. That number 9.5. Lions favored here at Ford Field as we get ready to go. Birchie, what are you doing, my man?
You know, last year felt like catharsis for this team, this franchise, this fan base. This year feels like the culmination, the coronation. The next step is taken tonight. Lions 34, Commanders 23. That's a cover,
That's
Dan
a
Miller.
cover. Whoa.
The Commanders have the most dangerous weapon in the game, Jaden Daniels, and the Lions have the next 12 most dangerous weapons after him. Lions 38, Washington 27.
That's a cover.
I'm going 34-27. Lions will win, but there's going to be a backdoor, situation with Washington.
It's a backdoor cover. What do you got?
Cover. Look, 9.5 is a lot of points. But tonight, it ain't enough, all right? I'll tell you what, 45 minutes to go to kickoff. This place is rocking already. These fans, Aaron Glenn, are going to make Jaden Daniels' life hell tonight.
Yes.
Lions 31-17.
What's the biggest key for that defense against Jaden Daniels?
Hey, when you get a chance to bring him down one-on-one, you got to make the play. Because if you miss the play, he's going to make you pay downfield with some shots.
And also the crowd, for maybe they'll get them to delay, they'll get them to have a false start. I really think the crowd's going to be key for him.
Interesting to see how much Aaron Glenn blitzes him.
Yep.
Because he's good against the blitz, but you got to do something to throw him off.
They are primed here inside Ford Field, I can tell you that right now. Extra couple of hours certainly helps them out. Network coverage coming up next. You will see every snap of this game right here on Fox 2. Don't forget when it ends, we're coming right back here with our post-game show. So enjoy the game. Come back with us afterwards for highlights and reaction. Good night, everybody.
And happy birthday, Luke Timmis.